is the ultimate edging anxiety show.
No.
Speaking of,
You know,
welcome back to the Busted Shovel podcast. I'm Shovel, he's Busted, and today we're going to make ourselves look like idiots by perfectly
We?
predicting the NFL draft coming up this Thursday.
Yes, perfectly. Like, one for one exactly what's going to happen.
Trades and all.
Yes,
And we're both hyper knowledgeable. We know everything about everything.
because we're on a podcast.
We've done the research.
Well, I turn more to, like, a gut kind of guy.
And that's all you need, because that's the beautiful thing about the draft. Nobody gets it right, because there's always one weird thing that happens.
But you know who gets it right? The guys doing the draft.
Yeah.
They always make the pick right.
Every single time. There's actually never been a bad pick ever.
To my knowledge, no.
Which is why, to lay just the ground rules, we're using PFF's mock draft simulator. We're doing all 32 picks in the first round. That's it. We're just going to alternate odds and evens. I'm going to take the odds. Busted will take the evens. And we're going to be allowed to do... You know what? Let's get real spicy. Let's do
Spicy?
2 trades each you're allowed to use. You don't have to use both of them.
But you have
But
to
you
use
can.
one.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah,
because
let's go with at least one so we can
Yeah.
sizzle me timbers.
Because there's definitely going to be trades in the draft, the first round especially.
What? No.
There always is, surprisingly. This is actually the first year. I mean, I think every single team is their first round pick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's not something that's happened, I think, in a very long time, if ever. I'm sure it happened at least once, but...
No, never.
Well,
First time.
I think to start out for the Titans fans, to end that year of misery, they're going to get the not-so-prized quarterback, but I do enjoy a lot, Cam Ward.
No.
So he's going to go first because that feels consensus at this point. Their new GM, very Italian-sounding last name. I can't remember. It starts with a B. He came out today, which we applaud him for coming out.
Clap.
He came out and said that they are going to stick and pick. They're not going to trade.
Phrasing?
Type shit. But they seem to be locked in on Cam Ward. I mean, Will Levis, the mayonnaise man, he puts mayo in his coffee. By the way, that was their former starting quarterback, meme legend.
It's just something
The guy's
about
a
the
weapon.
creamer, you know?
Yeah, he was a creamer. He was also absolutely jacked. He still is.
It's
But
that mayo, dude. It's got that
personally,
secret sauce.
Not to take away too much from Cam Ward. I'm not crazy about it. It's obviously a value thing, and he's by far the best quarterback in this class. No one's really close. There's kind of a canyon between him and the next guy, but I think Travis Hunter is the best player overall in this class, and I don't think that's even close either. He's a generational two-way guy. The Titans, I mean, it's a brand new regime. I think you should take Travis. I know Callahan, it's his second year being the head coach, but he's not going to get fired. I just doubt it unless they're so bad. Like, I think you take that generational guy and you keep moving. But Cam Ward does do a lot of cool things. Like, he's very cool. He's not super
He's cool?
crazy. That's actually the word to use because you watch him play and it looks like he just doesn't give a shit. He
Nice.
stands back there and he's just like, all right. That's every rep. I'm not
wild.
kidding. Like,
Nice.
so there's I don't remember the exact play, but there was a play where I think they were in gun. He gets it, and he's sitting there, and he goes through his reads, and he just sees the check down to the running back, and he actually almost misses the throw to, like, this basically handoff to the running back because he just throws it like this. He looks at the running back and goes, doesn't give a shit. He's just like, dude, just fucking go.
He's just like, ball in hand,
But
baby.
he's really good arm talent, I think. Like, he's a cool player. Like, I'd be pumped if I'm a Giants fan if the Giants drafted him. But no, the Titans get him, and I think they're, with according to Cam Ward, his number one wide receiver in the league, being what I think he said it was Treylon Burks, who he was a first round pick from Arkansas a few years ago, who has not had a very good career. He just knows he's going to the Titans, so he's being funny. But yeah, so
Nice.
congrats to the Titans fans for getting your QB1.
Well, I feel like that makes the obvious second pick for the Browns.
Mm-hmm. The Cleveland Browns.
Shador. It's obviously Shador.
Oh, okay. No. Dude, you know what I gotta do? I gotta edit in the chime that they play. Dude, nice. Okay, so I actually love this as a Giants fan for this mock, but this is something that actually very much could happen.
Well, I said the obvious choice.
Yeah.
You know?
And realistically, Shador's like, he's so interesting. Obviously, his dad is Deion Sanders, who's one of the greatest football players of all time. One of the greatest athletes to ever touch the football field. Goes to, Coach Jackson State, brings him to relevancy. Same thing with Colorado, with Travis Hunter and Shador. The Browns, it'd just be so funny if they drafted him. Because Shador's not bad. He's kind of like, you remember Mac Jones? You ever hear that name? He was the Patriots quarterback a few years ago.
Oh, yes.
He's kind of just that. That's like what he's, I think, a decent processor. He's like just average. But he had Travis Hunter, who is, again, generational. So
Well, it seems like a good pick for the Browns.
but they need a quarterback. I mean, Deshaun Watson is definitely a player on their team that they're paying a lot of money to, who's probably not going to be there too much longer, even though his contract will be. They signed Joe Flacco, the GOAT.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they got Flacco back.
Oh, God.
They got Footsteps Flacco in there, slinging the pill. So, Shador makes sense from a value standpoint. Just purely talking cap, I mean, they just paid Myles Garrett, who's arguably, he's either one or two edges in the entire league. He's unbelievable. But they paid him so much money. Between him and Watson, I mean, this year, I don't know have the cap stuff up, but it's got to be $100 million between the two of them or something.
That's
Which,
it?
that for a cap that's like $250 million, that's
I think that's pretty good budgeting right there.
pretty substantial. Now, Myles Garrett is worth that money.
So, some say you got to spend money to buy things.
I'm saying.
So-
See, you get it. And the Browns get it. And that's why they reach really aggressively for their quarterback of the future, maybe. And you know what? The Giants are here. Joe Shane is wiggling his toes, going, yippee! Oh, my God, he fell to us. He fell to us. And that's why, as a Giants fan, knowing what's going to happen, they're going to trade down.
Are they?
I'm gonna be screaming at my TV. I'm gonna be throwing things because Travis Hunter's right there. And you could say, oh, they have Malik Neighbors. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson is like fine. They re-signed Darius Slayton. Like, it's not a super good receiving core, but it could be enough. And there's value in this draft down the board. And I hate that. I think if you're in this position, you take the best player available and you draft this high. But the Giants are dumb. So since they're dumb, we are going to make a trade. Actually, you know what? This is going to be a really, really crazy because it's not going to be a very far trade down. I think it's why the Giants would do it. I'm going to trade down. I'm not going to worry about the actual compensation of it. We're just going to do a forced trade. I'm going to have the Raiders trade up, and they're going to take Travis Hunter here.
Interesting.
So Pete Carroll comes in, and everybody's like so excited because they're like, "Oh my God, the Boise State running back Ashton Genty," because he's like the best running back prospect since Saquon, even better than Bijan Robinson and some of these other guys. Pete Carroll predicates his whole like team philosophy on building the O-line, getting the running back, and all that stuff, running a lot of play action. And they traded for Geno Smith, who is older, but he's still pretty good. Like, he's fine. I think you see a chance at a weapon like Travis Hunter, and you're salivating. And you're like, the Raiders aren't a great franchise by any means either, but they're just salivating because they're like, those stupid Giants. We're going to take advantage of them this time. So
Makes
the
sense.
Giants moved down to 6,
No.
and I'd be screaming and throwing up if that happened, but for the sake of fun, that's where that's what I'm going to have happen at 3. So at number 4, we have the New England Patriots,
And
and they'll be selecting.
for very obvious reasons, it's going to be Mason Graham.
Wow. Okay. Yes, dude, I love Mason Graham, and I'm a little upset because that's who I was hoping you would take at number 6 with the Giants because I love Mason Graham so much. He is. Some people they're kind of getting wishy-washy. I think there's a lot of prospect fatigue happening in this class too. Mason Graham is just a dog. That's just what he is. I know. I think he's a little bit undersized with weight and stuff. He doesn't have that true pass rush potential like some of the other guys. But oh my dude, he's just awesome. He's the classic 50-year-old dad watches him play and goes, "Oh, that's a football player. That's a football player." He's a big white oaf.
Love it.
And he's just awesome.
And listen.
And what better team to go to than the New England Patriots with Vrabel at the helm with 8 cigs in his mouth and 3 cans of dip while he drinks 2 venti coffees. That's just what he does.
That's a leader right there.
Yeah.
That's how you lead.
Yeah. And Elliot Wolf, I forget what I was listening to. Somebody, maybe it was the radio or something, they were talking about how Elliot Wolf loves to mess with the media and stuff. And who is he on? Oh, I think it was the Browns front office in 2018 when they drafted Baker Mayfield first. Sam Darnold, the morning of the draft, was Darnold was supposed to go number 1 overall that draft. And the books and stuff, sports books, had him at minus 500 to go in the morning. And Baker Mayfield was plus 2,500 to get drafted first overall. And then it happened. Because Elliot Wolf was in that office. He was the second man. But, no, I think Mason Graham overall is a really good fit, I think, with the Patriots. And they need help. I think Drake May is an awesome quarterback. I was really high on him last year coming out. I was really hoping the Giants would get him. But, I think people are overrating them a bit because of the Vrabel hire, and I love Vrabel. I think he's awesome, but they need to really build up that team with talent, and I think Mason Graham, he could be a total building point for that team.
Got to start from the bottom, you know?
Now we're here. And here being Jacksonville. Jacksonville has been a very interesting location because there's 100 different ways they can go. I think they had the 32nd pass defense last year, which tells me even though they have Joshua Hines-Allen and they have Trayvon Walker, I think you just keep swinging at edge, especially with Abdul Carter here, right? But on offense, they lose Evan Engram. They do have Brian Thomas Jr., who is just so good. So good. Do you try to help Trevor?
No.
You probably should. I think
should,
Genty at 5, even though they have ETN, who's fine. Genty would be such a fun pick. But Abdul Carter sitting here, the Jags are going hip, hip, hooray. Holy shit, we got a guy. And I think Abdul Carter is unaliving himself, but they're going to take Abdul Carter at 5
Bang.
because he's too good of a prospect. He's the second best guy in this class. He has an insane first step. He was so productive at Penn State. He is such a good pass rusher, but he can also play off ball. He's just a very versatile piece. And I don't think I've heard a couple comps, and I think it's so bad because it just doesn't make sense. I've heard Isaiah Simmons, which makes 0 sense because Isaiah Simmons is like a safety who also could play corner, but also linebacker. When a guy is that versatile, it's hard for them to actually find a spot, even though it seems like it would be easier. Abdul Carter is just, you line him up, and you're go get the quarterback. And in a winnable division, like the AFC South, arguably the worst, I think getting the top edge guy at 5 is insanity. And it's very clear the Giants should have just taken him at 3 or Hunter. But, no, in this mock, we are now at the Giants at pick 6, which
what the
busted.
famous for?
Who will the Giants be taking
Wouldn't
at
it
6?
be crazy if they traded down again?
Theoretically, yes. I think I'd unalive myself.
Don't worry, they're not trading down. They're just a little torn. They're thinking about 2 guys right now.
Depending on what they got, because I didn't do draft comp and stuff, I just swapped the picks. I feel like for the Raiders to move up for Travis Hunter, you're kind of moving yourself out of that 3-pick range. So in this scenario, say the Giants got they might have even swung the Raiders first next year and maybe the Giants sent back like their third this year or something like that. I don't know, but like there's some absurd swap. So none of that matters. Just who do you think the Giants should take with the needs? And I should have been listing the needs.
Oh yeah, but like sometimes there's needs and wants, and sometimes you just have
You
to
got to
take
go
the
with your
wants.
gut. You know what? Yeah, you got to go with your gut. You're right. We don't need the
And
needs.
now, cause see, I know they'd love to add some support down at the receiver range, right?
Okay.
They'd love that.
Right.
However, sometimes there's just too much receivers.
Too many. There's too many receivers.
And it's just like
and they're catching the damn balls.
Yeah, it's just like it's crazy.
We don't need
It's
them to do that.
unnecessary.
Yeah, we don't even catch the damn
Which
balls.
is why they're gonna go with Will Campbell.
Okay. So Will Campbell was seen as this crazy prospect over the past couple years at LSU until people realized he has pretty short arms. I think he could definitely play tackle. I think he does everything right. I listened to a couple people who actually know what they're talking about talk about how he's like he just knows how to handle like getting out leveraged and everything. Like he can kind of even if people try to long arm him, he can almost like bring him in and hold him into place. Like he's gonna be good. I just think he's gonna be a guard. I don't think he's gonna play tackle. But dream scenario if this did happen in this world. Obviously the Giants have Andrew Thomas and pretty much everybody else because JMS has not been great at center. Sadly, so far he hasn't developed very well. But you get a guy like Will Campbell on the line. I think it's a huge improvement. It's not the superstar a lot of people were hoping for at 3, but it's a guy who will boost the team overall. He's not going to be a bad player.
This isn't going to be a line, you know.
He's going to be a part of the line. This isn't going to be an Evan Neal situation where we're like, oh, he's this freakish athlete who could be one of the best tackles in football, but he has these balance issues. Will Campbell doesn't, I don't think, really have that. I think he's just a solid player.
No,
and
he'll be solid.
Be good.
He's on the line.
Oh yeah,
he's got to be solid.
Hold the line.
Love isn't always on time.
And that's what Will Campbell will do for the Giants for the next 10 years.
We'll
so
see.
I'd be happy with that with the trade down to 6. I wouldn't hate that. But now that puts me here for the Jets. Oh, the poor Jets.
Oh my God, it'd be crazy if they trade down, like all the way down.
Oh.
Get rid of all their draft picks.
Yeah. They're actually trading them all to the Giants. No. I'm going to take a wild swing here. And I know this has been mocked a ton. And this guy has not been he's been falling, I think, on some people's boards. I think he's an absolute weapon. Tyler Warren out of Penn State. They're going to go tight end at 7 with, I think, some really good players on the board here. Like, you could definitely argue, like, Tet to me. I think Walter Nolan might be a bit rich at this point for me. Armand Membu is probably, like, the consensus guy for the Jets to get their bookend tackles. Tyler Warren is a 6'6", like 260 classic tight end. He reminds me of, like, Jeremy Shockey. Like, just this big, will just beat you, will moss people. He's just an old-school tight end. I know at Penn State, he ran a lot of stuff, like, short, and he had some, like, he had a couple bad plays. Like, there's one where he had a wheel route, and he was butt naked open, and Aller put it right on his face mask, and he just blatantly dropped it. It was, like, the easiest touchdown ever. Just a concentration drop, and you're just like, how does that happen? I think Warren, though, is a guy you can easily get the football to. He's big. He can run through people better than maybe everybody but Genty in this class, like, at any position. He's going to be a really good weapon in the NFL. They're going to find a place for him. So, I think Jets fans, I think they would be excited about the pick. It's another weapon. You give Justin Fields a chance to have some kind of, safety valve in the middle of the field, which he'll never throw to because he hates throwing in the middle of the field. So, that's my pick for the Jets.
Place in the middle of the field, you know?
There's
so many people.
So many people, friggin' forever.
It's a bad time.
Friggin'
we don't do it.
And that's going to put us at pick 8 with the Carolina Panthers.
This is going to be crazy, but
so real quick
Yep.
before, because I just want to say, this is one of the only picks in the draft that feels like it is at consensus as well. Like everybody knows who they're going to take, unless he doesn't fall to them.
Panthers?
Yes, which is very weird.
Oh, that's crazy because the Panthers are getting a phone call from another team.
Oh, they are.
They
okay.
are.
Who are they getting a call from?
It's a water type creature, from Miami.
Oh, so they're trying to move up 5 spots.
Yeah, the Miami Dolphins are making a phone call, and they're trying to move up in the world.
will force the trade. And the Dolphins sit here.
And they're
number
sitting
8.
here with like all this time.
Man, there's one player specifically I could totally see them trading up for here, actually. That they would be like, oh my god, the Jets didn't take him. We have to get him. Will that be the right pick?
No, it won't.
Oh, no.
Because it's obviously going to be. So hold on, I'm reading.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be awesome. I can't wait. There's a couple. Oh, there's a couple guys you could actually. I think the take would be very legitimized. Like this could be a really good move.
This could be if I said the right words to follow. I'm not going to say the right words to follow.
Right.
Because I'm looking at this, and it's going to be... Oh, I don't know how to say this name.
What's the first letter?
M.
M. Not Malachi Starks, right?
Williams?
Williams.
Am I throwing right now?
Williams. Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
So, funny enough, the player Michael Williams is very much in play here. I don't hate this for them. But it's his teammate, Jalen Walker, who literally is the other linebacker on the team.
Yeah,
But he's going to rush the passer. They're both just freaky athletes. So it's just... Listen,
Dude,
the Dolphins...
It's a crazy phone call, I know, but they had to do it.
They were like, Mikel, however you say it, he was sitting there, and they were just like, we have to have him.
Yeah.
What would we do without him?
Yeah,
If there's a will, there's an
Who are they
Eames.
supposed to pick for this?
Jalen Walker.
Oh.
So he's consensus, but I didn't even... did I scroll past him? He's like technically maybe 10 spots higher in the like draft board rank. This is the kind of stuff that absolutely could happen, that they fall in love with traits and they're like, this has to be our guy and we have to go get him.
And they're going to do it.
And they will trade up because this is the 100% correct mock draft. This we know. Which is why the Saints at number 9, they're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Well, everything's working out fucking beautiful for us. They can get Alvin Kamara's successor in Genti. They could help Chris Olave in their horrible quarterback situation with Ted McMillan. But what they are going to do is the Saints are going to be smart for the first time in a while, and they're going to take Armand Membu.
No, impossible.
Which Jets fans are on their knees crying and being sad because he's definitely their dream pick. He's just a big old tackle. He's awesome. He's a good player. I think he's a little bit of a project to my knowledge. I don't know too much about him, to be honest. I don't want to say anything out of line. But Ryan Ramczyk, they're a long time tackle, just retired. They need offensive line. They need to burn that team down and rebuild it because they are in cap hell. They can't afford anything forever.
Money.
But money is right. So we sit here now. I think the Saints are very happy with that pick. That's awesome that Membu falls to them. The Bears is one of the most polarizing picks in the draft because there is a guy here, again, it's not consensus, but it's like this would be the home run of the draft.
The home run of the draft.
It would be, oh my God.
They trade their draft pick to the Green Bay Packers for nothing.
The dream draft.
Because that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Because go Packers and fuck the Bears, okay, dear guy? Jeez Louise. Let's see. The obvious answer. I need to search by position.
Okay.
Because I can't read. So let's go to running backs.
Okay.
Because that's always a good start.
I could scroll if you need. You probably shouldn't scroll past this.
They're getting Genti, dude. What are we even talking about?
Is that your pick, Genti?
Yeah.
So this is the home run pick for the Bears. Genti is, you could argue, the best player in this class. He is at Boise State. Oh my God, he was so much fun to watch. I don't know his measurables, but I think he's like 5'9", like 220. He is a monster. The guy is built like a brick shit house, and he just runs through everybody. He's faster than everybody.
That's wild. Good for him.
He is definitely the next.
Too bad the Bears are not actually going to get him.
I think this is his low end. I think there is no way he falls past 10. If he's there at 10 and the Bears don't take him, I think it's a huge misstep. But Ben Johnson, they hired there from the Lions. The Lions were all about building their offensive line and stuff. They could keep trying to build. I mean, they invested so much capital in it, but you can never invest too much capital in your O-line and D-line. But Genty is just, you help Caleb Williams so much. You have Roma Dunze. You have DJ Moore. I mean, you are sitting so pretty as an offense. And the Bears, I don't know if they'd be scary good,
No.
but they'd be good. I think they'd
No.
actually be good.
No.
So,
No.
Packers fan helping out the Bears. Look at that. But anyway, we have the Niners here. The Niners are in a very terrible spot, too, because they just had to let so many good players go. And I think they are going to make a wild pick here. A guy that... actually, no, I might change my mind. No, you know what? I'm going to have them take... Wow.
Do it.
Ezaraku flew up the draft board. Jesus. He's awesome, too. I'm going to have them take Kelvin Banks Jr. He can be
Money
a
in
guard.
the bank.
Money in the bank. He could be a guard. Obviously played tackle. I think he might have the highest upside out of any lineman in this class. Big freak. The Niners desperately need offensive line, but they also need a lot of other positions. But they still have a couple guys. We have to see how Brandon Ayuk comes back from that injury. Brock Purdy needs to be paid. Will they pay him? I mean, they're kind of in a scary spot. Also, is CMC going to be healthy after having Achilles tendonitis?
Well, I mean,
We don't know. Because they on paper, last year they should have been so good.
yeah.
And they just were not.
Paper, it's a crazy thing. It lies.
So the Cowboys are bricking their panties right now looking at this draft board.
Well, I mean, they're just kind of happy right now.
I can't even think of a word.
And I don't like
Jubilated.
I don't like how they're gonna get this pick.
Yippee!
Because one guy's been sitting here sweating his ass off because he thought he was gonna be picked way before all this.
Yep.
And that's fucking Mr. McMillan.
Yeah, so this would kill me inside. The Cowboys, again, they'd be so happy. How did he fall to us? But I think there is a legit chance McMillan falls because there's some interesting stuff with him. He's awesome. He's 6'4". I don't know how much he weighs. He's probably in that 220 range, maybe a little bit lighter. But people have compared him, and I think it's outrageous, to like a Mike Evans or a Calvin Johnson, like on the very, very high end. Like he is a big height, weight, speed guy. He's kind of what Quentin Johnston was billed to be a couple years ago for the Chargers. He's really cool. He just is a really good player. But it's the stupid character concerns thing where it's like, does he really love playing football? He like plays volleyball and stuff, and he takes plays off sometimes. So there's a chance he slides. He's definitely going in the top half of the first round, I think. But there is a chance he does slide. And if the Cowboys get him, of course they do, because it seems like, and it's not every time, but anytime everybody can go, oh yeah, the Cowboys made the right pick, it's because they actually do it for once. I mean, Jerry Jones has been burning that place to the ground. He's been
Thank
burning
God,
money.
right? Thank God.
Yeah, and somehow they're still better than the Giants, and it's just so funny, man. It shows how terrible the Giants are. But now I'm here with the Carolina Panthers, who traded back and are sitting here at 13. And I was really hoping for Tet to make it one more pick. But I think here they got the O-line figured out. Obviously, Bryce Young really came on towards the end of the year. The defense is so atrocious. Like, it's so atrocious. You have Derek Brown, and if you want to say J.C. Horn, who they paid him, I think he's a good player. I think you take a swing at the best nickel corner in the class. They're going to take Jahdae Barron here, who's one of the better just corners. I think he can play outside as well. He's just a really, really, really good player from Texas that I think it's just one of those situations where you still have like your Walter Nolans and Malachi Starks and the other edges as well. But I think you just get a guy that you just know he's going to just dominate, I think, in whatever scheme you put him in. I think he's going to be a really good player. And I think nickel is a position that's ascending so much with how many wide receivers are generally on the field at all times. So now we sit here at pick 14 with the Indianapolis Colts.
And finally,
Shout out a couple of our busters out there that are big Colts fans.
We have Colts fan busters?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Because they're gonna get a good pick here. They're gonna get a little linebacker from Alabama.
Ooh, Jihad Campbell?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. That's interesting
And-
because they are very rich at the linebacker position.
Nope, they want him.
But Campbell, I could see the fit here. Campbell is your classic, like he's a big motherfucker. I don't know his measurables off the top of my head. But he's just a big lanky linebacker who he's a willing tackler, he's a good tackler and all that stuff. He flies around. He's just a good player. And honestly, I think that is a Colts pick, and I think he'll be really good.
He's gonna pave the way.
It's
He's
that's
gonna do it.
interesting.
He's gonna do it.
He, Jihad, and Jawil. Moving on. We had the Atlanta Falcons at 15. And I'm going to let Mike Green fall a little bit. And I'm actually going to take Donovan Ezeraku here at a Boston College, who has been rising a lot. And I think this is the highest he can go. But some people think he, outside of Abdul Carter, is like the best pass rusher in the class. He just gets to the quarterback. He doesn't, but the only thing he doesn't have is that crazy first step. But I think he has a bunch of moves. Like I think he has good feet and all that stuff like that. Like he's just a good football player. You know you're getting a good football player out of him. And the Falcons desperately need that on the edge right now.
What?
Because they do not have that.
No, they're fine. They're fine.
So now we sit here at pick 16 with the Arizona Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Cardinal.
Scroll down a wee bit.
A wee bit.
Just a wee bit.
It was right.
Hold on. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Almost there.
I can do this.
Almost there. Oh. Go back up a little bit. Stop. They're gonna take Kenneth Grant.
That's a really nice pick. It is. Kenneth Grant is a mammoth. Who's
No,
next
Mammoths
to
can't play football.
Oh, this one can.
But they're extinct.
No,
They can't do this.
They're bringing them back like the dire wolves. No. Kenneth Grant is so sick, and his last name is fantastic. But he is just a big son of a bitch who just can cripple the pocket. Like the way he has like the power to collapse a pocket. I think you could potentially see. I don't want to say he could be a Dexter Lawrence guy, but I think at his very tippy-top ceiling, he could be a guy who just destroys the A-gaps, and there's just no hope. Like,
No
he could
more
just be a
gaps.
filler. No gaps. But now we sit here at number 17 with the Bengals. I'm not going to waste any time here. I think they're pumped. Safety is generally not taken super high, and I think this is around the range like Kyle Hamilton went a few years ago with the Ravens, I think at like 14. Malachi Starks out of Georgia, I think, can kind of be their Jesse Bates replacement because their back end is just so brutal. Dax Hill is just not panned out. Like, they desperately need something back there. They need some kind of guy who could just, not even ball hawk, but just play center field, I think. But I think Malachi Starks is versatile enough to, I guess he could play in the box. I mean, Nick Imaware is probably much more in that mold, and he would make a lot of sense here too. But I think Malachi Starks, you just get a lot of like the intangibles with him too. Like apparently he's a really good leader, he's a really good guy. Teammates love him. Like people gravitate towards him. I think that stuff really matters.
He's got that aura.
He does have aura, and I think this could be one of those times where it's of course this guy fell into the late teens, and he's just awesome. I've liked Malachi Starks for a year or two now, so I think he's going to be really good. I think it's a really good fit. But Seahawks at pick 18.
All right, I need to see some centers real quick.
Some centers.
Something to keep us centered.
Right. So there's actually it's interior O-line. So you'll see that they just kind of mix them all together. So C is center and G is guard.
I got it. Scroll down a little bit.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is like
Oh, it's gonna be Seth, dude.
They're gonna reach on Seth MacLaughlin. What,
Dude,
147?
I just love that last name.
It's a good last name.
No, see, it's the obvious pick is Wilson.
So, legend of the Stay Hot podcast, Theo Ash, loves Jared Wilson because I think it was at his pro day. This guy who's like 300 pounds ran 21 miles an hour.
That's the center, dude.
He is a
It's a weapon.
fucking freak. He is I'm sure I think like his RAS is in like the 99 percentile for centers like all time. He is a freak. I just think he has things to clean up. I mean, him going in the first round would be hilarious.
No, that's why they're doing it. They need to secure him.
But this is the 100% correct mock draft, and you just predicted the banger of the draft, and I'm pumped about that. Let's fucking go.
Dude, wild cards, baby. It happens. Stranger things.
I love it. I fucking love it. I'm trying to think, because I'm thinking about making a big move here,
Oh,
but I'm trying to think who would.
the Packers are going to move up. You know?
Because my line of thinking is, so we had the Browns, and obviously the Titans. They got their quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Who traded down? The Panthers traded down, and the Giants did. So, you know what? And I'm a Giants fan, so this sucks. But it probably wouldn't be this early, but you're trying to jump the Steelers just in case. And I feel like the Broncos know who they want as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Giants trade up to the Bucks pick here.
Really?
And they trade a bunch away. And the Giants are going to make a wild pick here at quarterback because they're worried the Steelers are going to take our sweet boy away from us, and they're going to take Jalen Milroe of Alabama,
Roll Tide!
who some GMs have come out and said that they think he could even be a better runner than like Lamar Jackson, which I think is cap. There's no way. But, I mean, Jalen Milroe is so raw. But I think talent-wise, I think he's by far the most talented quarterback of this class. But I think he's arguably by far the most raw. Like, I think he's a guy who just has some tape that's really, really crazy. And you're like, holy hell, he's got the arm. He's got the speed. Like, he's got the pocket awareness and stuff. But then he just looks like an absolute bonehead out there. And I'm not saying there's remnants of Daniel Jones with something like this.
No.
Because I think Milroe is a lot more fluid as an athlete. And I think Milroe, not that Daniel Jones wasn't likable and stuff like that. I think Milroe is a very captivating leader again. And like people gravitate towards him. That's a very big thing. He interviewed really well. People like a lot of teams like him. I think he is going to go in the first round if the Steelers pass on him. I don't know if the Steelers would take him at 21. But in this scenario, the Giants, Daboll and Shane were on the same page, and they got their guy. And in doing that, they probably gave up their 2026 first-round pick, in which case I'm smashing the table and I'm upset. I'm flipping the TV. I'm running into the highway. But I'd be more excited about Milroe, I think, than Jackson Dart or, I mean, really any of the other guys. Because at least Milroe, it could be fun. It could either be really fun
Bring
or
back
really
the
bad,
fans, dude.
you know. So I think that's fun and that's a good spot, and it's probably where they might have to trade up if they want their quarterback. But in this case too, the Bucks get so much value, and the Bucks have been so well run for so long. Like they've been ever since Brady, they've just been so consistently good in a bad NFC South. So I think getting more picks and just refueling the defense and the offense is just going to be awesome for them. And the way Baker's ascended there with that great O-line, they're doing it, man. So moving out of that whole discussion, we now have the Broncos at pick 20.
I'm trying to remember who was picked. You know?
I could scroll up here.
I'm very bad at this. My memory does not serve. All right. And then keep Going down. Dude, I can't see. I didn't see the name, so we're gonna run with it. Where's Loveland at?
Okay, you know ball. You're a ball knower. So they did sign Evan Engram. But-
he's ass.
He's not even like ass, but here's the thing. Colston Loveland is like pretty similar, but the Chargers are also smacking the table and throwing stuff everywhere because I think that is I think that's who the Chargers will pick at 22. Colston Loveland is a big, fast, lanky tight end who is just awesome. He's one of the top 10 most talented and probably best prospects in this class. It's just because he's a tight end, he's probably going to go probably around here. I could see the fit, though, because they can move him around. He doesn't have to just play inline tight end. I think he can even probably play some X.
He's the future.
And that makes a really, really dangerous target for Bo Nix to have, who had a really great rookie season for where everybody thought he'd be. Most people thought he'd be pretty average or not great at all. And he was good. He was genuinely had some really, really good games. He looked pretty good out there. I still, and maybe this is my bias, because this is a big topic I've seen with Giants fans and stuff, I would still 100% take Malik Neighbors over him, even though it's the positional value and stuff. I think Neighbors is just so good, and I think the Giants made the right pick last year.
Absolute dog.
So I'm pumped about that, and with how this draft is going, I'm happy with the future.
Especially with that center, yeah.
I'm saying, bro, weapon. But so at pick 21, the Steelers are here, and they're pissed off they didn't get their sweet Milroe, their sweet boy.
No.
So what are they going to do? Aaron Rodgers didn't come back because he has stuff going on in his personal life, which is sad, and I hope he does better. But I just don't think the value is here at quarterback at all. I think they're super upset. They don't know what to do. So what do? They do what the Steelers should do, and they go BPA, and they just keep building that goddamn wall. And Walter Nolan, the fall finally stops. They get an absolute monster and a successor to Cam Hayward, the largest head maybe humanity has ever had to offer. Walter Nolan has an incredible ceiling. He's the most talented inside defensive tackle in this class, or just defensive tackle, I should say, in this class by a pretty wide margin, I think. I do still prefer Mason Graham just because I think he's just going to be a really good player, but Walter Nolan, I think he was at Texas A&M the past couple of years, and he was very highly touted. I think he was like a 5-star. Like, he was supposed to be like a guy in college, and he never really popped. But then this past year at Ole Miss, he was dominant, damn near. He was really good. You saw a lot of growth.
He didn't miss
against really good competition. So I think the Steelers, even though they are like, what are we doing at quarterback? At least you know that defense is just going to keep being that defense. Also, who knows with T.J. Watt, because they might not be able to retain him. Right? But because he wants to get paid the same as Myles Garrett. So we'll see what they do. Maybe they use T.J. Watt in a trade-up to get a guy they like. But there's also a chance like Shador just falls here to 21 in real life. He could end up falling out of the first round for all we know. So, but in the 100% accurate mock draft, Walter Nolan goes 21. And now we sit here with the Chargers at 22.
We're mad at the Broncos.
They are.
Sorry about it.
Interdivisional anger.
But I need to check out wide receivers. The widest of them.
There are some really good names here.
There are
some guys I really, really like. Because I mean, we really have. It's been Travis and Tet, I think. Which it's very realistic. This is how it goes.
I need to look at tight ends real quick too. You know.
Oops.
It's just one of those things, you know. We gotta
make sure.
Oh, it's Mason Taylor. What are we talking about?
Mason Taylor, yeah.
Yep.
I like Mason Taylor. I don't know if he's going in the first round, but I like Mason Taylor.
No, he is.
He's a big old white boy.
With a name like Mason.
No, he sounds like a tight end. He does.
Yeah.
That is a tight end name. I am such a believer in the name test. I really am. Mason Taylor is a very good tight end name.
And that the name is like most of it.
It is.
The name's what makes a person.
The football doesn't matter. It's all the
No.
name. No, you know what? I could see it. I'll say it. I think that'd be fun. Because he had the really cool, during the combine, he ran, it's a stupid drill where they just run in a straight line, kind of like laterally, and they have to catch one football this way, one this way, one this way. It's like rapid fire. He's one of the only people ever to run in a perfect straight line. Because they draw it out behind him, and he literally ran a perfect straight line. And then he actually had this like sick one-handed catch, I think, during it.
The guy knows
He's
where he's
cool.
going.
He does.
Okay? He's got direction.
Yeah.
And a name.
And the Packers are sitting here.
No.
Yay.
My beautiful Packers.
Yay! They get their guy, Emeka Egbuka, who they've been linked to a lot in this draft process. They finally break the curse, and I know everybody does it every year. They're finally going to draft the first-round wide receiver. They're just going to do it, and they probably won't. But Egbuka would be so perfect here. I think he just feels like a Packer to me. He just feels like a Packers wide receiver. Great, I'll be honest. I think he could end up being. He won't be Travis Hunter if Travis Hunter decides to be a wide receiver full-time. I think he could easily be the wide receiver, too, in this class, just with what he provides, blocking and all that stuff. I think he's just a really, really good player, and it's exactly what Jordan Love needs because he needs consistency.
And I love it. Bang.
Speaking of love.
No, we don't love this team. Are you kidding me?
One of our friends loves the Vikings.
I don't.
And who will they be drafting?
Let's take a look at running backs right quick, you know? I don't think we've taken a lot of running backs, have we?
Just Genty. But they're... Omarion Hampton's like the one other guy who maybe could go in the first round. He's really good.
Oh, not Dylan Sampson?
No. Dylan Sampson's like fine. Cam
No.
Scatterbo is like hilarious.
That's just a great name.
I gotta show you his highlights. He had like a generational run last year.
Dude.
Well, generational runs, I should say. But you want to look at any other positions or?
Yeah, we're gonna have to take a different look. We're gonna have to go with. You know what? Let's crush a wide receiver. They're just feeling it. Are they though? I'm gonna find out in 2 seconds. I don't know if they're feeling it. Let's see, Higgins, dude.
Higgins is a good player.
No, they're not feeling
He's
it.
a big boy.
I think they want something for defense. We're gonna go with defense.
All right.
But what? But where? That's the question.
I could just scroll here if you want, like this.
Oh, I'm reading so slow. You scroll so fast.
Sorry. Hey, I know all these names. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, well, nice to read something, you know?
Type shit. Do you want to look at one of the defensive positions?
Yeah, let's give me
This one?
that one. Yeah, I can't read. Oh, dude, I don't know how to say that.
The first guy?
Omar Norman Lott.
Okay, so he's been getting a lot of steam over the past week or so. I think he's a PFF darling. I haven't watched him. I don't know too much, but I think he has like a crazy first step. Like he's like the guy who can rush the quarterback probably the best out of any of the interior defensive linemen in this class. Again, don't know too much about him, but Omar Norman Lott, a hyphenated name as a defensive tackle, I'm in. There's just something about him. I don't think they ever hit that pinnacle, but they're just in the league for 15 years. They're just good. They're 330 pounds, and they're good. That's how they roll. So, sorry I can't provide more insight than that. But the Texans here are happy because they're going to take a wide receiver. They're going to keep this good old boy in Texas. They're going to take Matthew Golden to complement Nico Collins, who's so good and no longer underrated. We'll see what happens with Tank Dell, who had that tragic injury, but I think you just got to keep feeding C.J. Stroud weapons because they decimated their O-line, and it's going to be so bad. I think no matter what you do, it's going to be bad. And I think there are guys here at tackle. Like, you could talk me into a Josh Simmons. Gray Zabel would have been, I think, a really good pick here, too. But at the end of the day,
this is the 100% accurate mock draft.
I think you have C.J. Stroud just chucking it up, man. like, and you're just praying because I don't care how many tackles and guards you draft. I just don't think it's going to look pretty this year. But I'm trying to think because the Jaguars are licking their chops in this because they got Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter, so who basically is Micah Parsons apparently. So
allegedly,
the Texans are sitting right there at the top of the AFC South, and everybody's just probably going to try to get pass rushers to get to them to beat them. So because they have the best situation there, but. Moving on from that, we have the Rams at pick 26, and this has been a very popular trade spot for a quarterback. But
not today.
But not today. I think because the Giants made their move, and they're one of the teams that could do it. The Steelers technically still could, but who would they trade up for? 3 quarterbacks went, and that's. I think the line is at 2.5 for quarterbacks to go in the first round in this draft.
Really?
So.
Well, now we know to bet over. You know, because this is the 100% real mock draft.
Hammer it.
Hammer the over.
Yeah, we're gonna actually. I'll parlay all of these picks.
Could you, dude? I'd love to see the odds on this.
Probably like minus 500 or something. You know.
That's it, because we're so close.
Yeah, because you know.
We might be plus 500.
No, we might be plus 50,000. Actually, probably like 200,000. But anyway.
Yeah, but there's no trade going on right here.
Okay.
It's just no one's feeling it.
There's some crazy names still here. I fuck with that because I think it's pretty valid so far. Yeah.
Well, go back up for a second. I saw a name I like. Oh.
Sorry.
Will Johnson.
Ooh. Okay. So Will Johnson, I actually, at the beginning of the process, was clamoring for. I always go back to the Giants. I'm sorry. I was clamoring for them, like, for him to be like the 3rd overall pick because I was like, dude, he was so good at 2023 at Michigan. There's the injury and all that stuff. He's everything great about a corner, but he is slow. He's just slow. He's not that slow, but he's pretty slow.
Didn't the tortoise beat the rabbit in the race?
He did. That damn hare had no chance.
No chance.
Took himself out of the race.
That tortoise just kind of went trucking along.
But
you can't stop a train.
I can't tell because Will Johnson it's such a powerful name. It's so simplistic, but at the same time, it's like, is that too simplistic to be a great name?
No, because it'd be. There's so many jokes you could have with that too.
Will you hold my Johnson? Anyway.
Yeah, like fucking. That's right there. That's it.
The Ravens, they do this every year. This is a big bit. The Ravens just because they're always drafting late like this. Usually one player falls. That's consensus, like a higher guy. And he falls, and he's obviously good, and they take him. And, of course, he's good. And it happens again because they get Mike Green out of Marshall, who's this sick edge rusher. I'd say he's probably just as good as Abdul Carter as a pass rusher. But we're not going to get into him. He has some pretty serious character concerns, to my knowledge. So, but he's good enough to, I think, still warrant being a late first-round pick. But yeah, so we'll leave it at that. But good player, good football player.
Oh man, I'm gonna piss someone off so much with this next.
And now we have the bum ass Lions, bro.
Boo!
Bum ass, no fucking way.
They can't win shit.
I'm kidding. I own a Jared Goff jersey, by choice.
But see, I feel like it's the obvious pick. It's staring right in the face, you know.
There is an obvious pick here.
It's Luther Burden III.
It wasn't that, but
no, it is.
There's some steam that one of their wide receivers, apparently, J-Mo, could be traded, which in a group text today I was talking about, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. I don't know his contract situation if it's up after this year, because he was a first-round pick. But I feel like for what he is, the Lions wouldn't get the value that they'd want back for him for what he is, because he's a good player. He's missed a lot of time and all that stuff, but it's kind of a weird spot. But Luther Burden is fun. He was so good in 2023. And that's a popular thing in this class. A lot of people, their tape in 2023 was spectacular. And it was like, this draft class is going to be loaded. And then they were just like average. But I forget who Mizzou's quarterback was, but I think he was ass. So I think Luther Burden had a bit of a step back here because of that. But it's definitely an interesting fit. I wouldn't say he's Amon Ra, but I think he's like kind of that mold, but maybe a bit more explosive. Like
Boom.
he's just he's just screen passes all the way. I mean, it's for a team that can pretty much do anything on offense they want to because their O line. Burton's just another fun weapon they get. Just keep stacking them. Which the Commanders sit here
They're not going to do it. No, they're not.
and who are they going to take? You know what?
Don't do it.
They're going to take Gray Zabel.
You did it.
Yeah.
Ah.
I brought up all his stats. We're not going off stats. We're going off gut here.
We love gut.
Gray Zabel, again, don't know much about him. Just heard about him through people talking about him. He's just, I think he can play literally every position on the offensive line, like at a high level. He's just a good player.
Oh, look at me, Mr. Fancy.
Yeah, which is like a rare thing to find a guy who can do it at the level he can. So, I think the Commanders, who they seem to have a really good run scheme with Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn had them going, and you're just helping give Jaden Daniels more time to run around and huck it up to Terry. But Gray Zabel's a good pick, I think. I think it helps them a lot. I'm surprised Josh Simmons has fallen this far, but he has major injury stuff. But he is like awesome. Outside of that, I mean, this isn't crazy. I feel like we've done a pretty good job.
I think we were acing this.
Well, we are because again, 100% right.
Yeah. Which is why the now very obvious.
The Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. They're taking James Pierce Jr.
That's a good pick. That's I think that's the right fit.
And that's
Jalen
why.
Walker would have been really good there too. Yeah. I don't got much to say. Another guy he was very highly touted in college, pretty productive. He's a good pass rusher. He's got character concerns, but I think it's not like Mike Green's. But James Pierce Jr. is a good player. I don't hate that. He is a little undersized, but he makes up for it.
He could eat.
He could eat. Speaking of eating, the Chiefs will be chomping on. I think they're going to take the swing at Josh Simmons just because they have to. They have he's fallen to them. He's a really, really good tackle, and unlimited reps. But if he can stay healthy, that's always the thing. If they could stay healthy, if he could stay healthy, I mean the Chiefs will have a really, really, really good tackle for a long time. But now we sit here at the final pick of the draft for the goddamn Philadelphia Eagles.
And the Eagles give away the first round pick to the Giants. Just for free.
You know, I think I'd hate that more than them making the pick because of the charity of it. I'd be upset by that. I'd be like, you bastards. Fine, I will take the first round pick. But the Eagles can go in a lot of different directions here. Because I think they are such a stacked roster, but I think they do have two clear areas of need that they could hit.
They just need to not be a football team.
I agree.
So that's one.
Their existence being gone would be nice for me as a Giants fan, but I also do love the rivalry, even though it makes me... it sucks. I've said this to, a lot of my friends. The Giants have been bad for so long, and I know they had a playoff win, a couple years ago, a total fluke one against the Vikings, and I saw 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime, whatever. They've been so bad for so long that I'm almost starting to just hate the NFC East teams more than I like my own team, and that's horrible.
No.
And that can't be how it works.
But it is.
So we're gonna hold out hope that the Giants figure it out with apparently I think Will Campbell and Jalen Milroe is who we picked for them.
Dude, they're gonna do
which
it.
Is hilarious.
They're gonna do it. Roll Tide. But it seems to be that the Eagles are gonna take Trey Amos.
That's a good pick. I think corner is their number one need as opposed to what PFF has on here. Trey Amos is I think he's just a solid corner. He feels like an Eagles pick. Hold on. Okay,
Did they grade our draft after this?
So if you do individual team, it'll give draft grades, which is kind of cool. But Trey Amos, I think, would be a really good fit with the Eagles because they lost Darius Slay. He's with the Steelers now. And he was surprisingly still pretty good last year. Actually, probably very good, I'd say. which is surprising because I think he just wanted to play one more year and they didn't bring him back. But I guess money and stuff. But you got to keep throwing assets at corner. You just have to. Drafting guys in the 4th round and undrafted guys, it can only get you so far in terms of depth. You hit on 2 of them last year with Quinyon Mitchell, who seems to be a really, really good player, and Cooper DeJean, the ultimate white boy, White Lightning. Who, he's a slot corner, I think. Like, that's what I don't. He can play outside. I don't know if he's going to hold up against the really good teams doing that, though. Not because he's a white boy, but because he's a white boy. A lot of milk checks going to be going on. But he had a really great playoffs. He was awesome. He's a really good player. But I think you need to keep throwing assets at corner. You just have to. And they have the best GM in football. So, but yeah, that's the draft, baby.
100% correct draft pick for 2025 made by Shovel and Busted. Busted Shovel. Shovel Bust.
At the end of the day, we had what? Let's see. How many trades did we actually end up doing? We have one. Was it just the 2? Or no, it was 3 because I did 2.
You did 2. I did 1.
So I feel like 3 trades is definitely possible. We had some fun picks. I think Abdul Carter falling to 5 is really funny.
It's gonna happen though.
And it's gonna happen. Omar Norman Lott jumping up at 24, I think is a cool pick. Who else we had? Jared Wilson at 18 is awesome.
Taking the center
That's
is
hype.
wild.
That was hype.
I don't know who thought of that, but someone did over there, and they're picking him.
It's probably, I guarantee on like FanDuel or something, it's probably like that exact pick is probably like plus 5,000, maybe plus.
I'm
10,000.
about to make some money.
Boom. It's that easy, and it's also very easy to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Thank you so much for listening to the Busted Shovel podcast.
He's Shovel. I'm Busted. Keep on digging.
Stay digging.
No.